Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that sounds like it's straight out of a disaster movie, supervolcanoes. But this isn't fiction. We're going to talk about a real, active supervolcano in Italy called Campi Flegrei, and what its recent activity is teaching the entire world about being prepared for a massive eruption. So, what exactly is a supervolcano? Imagine a regular volcano, like a mountain with a crater at the top. Now, picture something way bigger. A supervolcano isn't a mountain. It's a giant sunken crater called a caldera, stretching for miles. The one at Campi Flegrei is about 12 kilometers across. To give you some perspective, that's like the size of a whole city. Underneath this caldera is a massive chamber of magma, bubbling and shifting. When one of these erupts, it's not just lava flows. It's an explosion that can change the global climate. Now, let's zoom in on Campi Flegrei. It's located right next to Naples, a bustling Italian city. 500,000 people live directly inside this ancient caldera, with millions more nearby. For the past few years, this area has been getting restless. The ground is literally being pushed upwards in a phenomenon called bradyseism. Think of it like the ground taking a deep breath. This upward movement, combined with thousands of small earthquakes, has everyone on high alert. The big question is, are these signs of an impending eruption, or is the volcano just letting off some steam? This is where the first major lesson comes in, understanding the gray zone of volcanic activity. It's not a simple on-off switch. Scientists are dealing with a huge amount of uncertainty. Is the ground rising because fresh magma is pushing up from below, or is it just hot gas and fluids moving around? Both can cause similar signals. This uncertainty is incredibly stressful for the people living there. Imagine being told you might have to evacuate, but no one can say for sure if or when the big one will happen. It's a massive challenge for authorities. How do you prepare millions of people without causing a total panic? The lesson for the world here is that we need better monitoring technology and more sophisticated models to tell the difference between a volcano stretching and one that's about to blow. We need to get better at interpreting these ambiguous signals. This brings us to our second lesson, the psychology of risk and communication. The people of Naples have lived with volcanoes. Vesuvius is right there too, for centuries. There's a certain level of "it won't happen to me" that sets in. When scientists issue warnings, it's a delicate balance. If you warn people too often and nothing happens, they start to ignore you. This is called warning fatigue. But if you wait too long, it could be too late. The authorities at Campi Flegrei are trying a new approach. Instead of just issuing top-down orders, they're focusing on community engagement. They hold town hall meetings, they distribute information packets, and they run drills. They're trying to build what they call a culture of risk. The idea is that if people understand the science, even the uncertainties, and know exactly what the evacuation plan is, they are more likely to trust the authorities and act when the time comes. They're learning that you can't just throw scientific data at people. You have to translate it into practical, understandable information that helps them make decisions for their families. This is a vital lesson for any place facing a natural hazard, whether it's a volcano in Indonesia, an earthquake in California, or a hurricane in Florida. Now, let's talk about the logistics. Evacuating millions of people is a nightmare scenario. Lesson 3 from Campi Flegrei is about proactive infrastructure planning. You can't just tell 3 million people to get in their cars and leave. It would be instant gridlock. The Italian government has a detailed evacuation plan that is constantly being tested and revised. It involves a phased evacuation over 72 hours, using a combination of buses, trains, and ships. People are assigned specific days and transport methods based on where they live. But here's the crucial part. This plan exists before the disaster. Many cities around the world that are near supervolcanoes like Yellowstone in the US or Taupo in New Zealand are watching Italy's approach closely. The key takeaway is that you have to build the evacuation routes, secure the transportation contracts, and plan the shelter logistics years or even decades in advance. You have to stress test these plans. What happens if an earthquake damages a key bridge? What if a port is unusable? Campi Flegrei is teaching us that a plan on paper is useless without real-world drills and robust, redundant infrastructure to back it up. The fourth lesson is about global cooperation. A super eruption isn't a local problem. An event at Campi Flegrei or Yellowstone would throw so much ash and sulfur into the atmosphere that it could block out sunlight, causing a volcanic winter. This would lead to crop failures and food shortages worldwide. No single country can handle a crisis of that magnitude alone. The scientific community studying Campi Flegrei is incredibly international. Experts from the UK, the US, and all over Europe are sharing data and models. This collaboration is essential. By studying the unrest at Campi Flegrei together, scientists are building a global playbook for how to monitor these giants. They are creating a unified front. This international effort extends beyond science to disaster relief. Countries need to have pre-arranged agreements on how to share resources, manage displaced populations, and distribute food if a global catastrophe strikes. Campi Flegrei is a live drill for this kind of global teamwork. Finally, the fifth and perhaps most important lesson is about building resilience from the ground up. This isn't just about government plans, it's about what you and I can do. The residents near Naples are being taught to have a go bag ready with essentials like water, food, documents, and a first aid kit. They know the evacuation routes from their neighborhood. This idea of personal preparedness is universal. For those of us who don't live near a supervolcano, the lesson is still relevant. Do you have an emergency plan for your family? Do you know what to do in case of a power outage, a flood, or any other regional disaster? Campi Flegrei reminds us that nature is powerful and unpredictable. While governments and scientists work on the big picture, building a resilient society starts with each of us taking responsibility for our own safety. It's about fostering a mindset of awareness and preparation, not fear. So to wrap it all up, the tense situation at Campi Flegrei is a powerful, real-time classroom for the entire planet. It's teaching us to navigate scientific uncertainty, to communicate risks effectively, to plan infrastructure proactively, to cooperate on a global scale, and to empower individuals to be prepared. We can't stop a supervolcano from erupting, but by learning these lessons, we can get a whole lot better at living with the risk and protecting ourselves when the time comes. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this gave you a new perspective on these incredible natural wonders and the importance of being prepared. If you found this interesting, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world around us. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.